And welcome to episode 12 of Tales of Yarnia. My name is Hannah. This is my podcast all about knitting, a little bit of crocheting and anything crafty I'm getting up to. And I'm coming to you from Cheltenham in the UK, which is where I live with my other half Jimmy and our yellow Labrador Jonah. I want to say a big thank you to everyone who is a new viewer and decides to give my podcast a shot. And also thank you to all my returning viewers, because I really appreciate you coming back for each episode, and I hope you enjoy what you watch. Right, so on to what I'm wearing. I did only wear this a couple of episodes ago, but it's gone really cold again today. Outside it's raining torrentially at the moment. And I thought I might have to put some lights on for the podcast because it's so dark. But I'm hoping it's going to be all right because I'm sat fairly near to the window. I think it's going to be okay for lighting, but we'll see. Anyway, this is my Zweig sweater, which I finished, might have been about a month ago now. So I'll just quickly stand up and show you a little bit. So the main colour I used was Travel Knitter in the... Oh no, it didn't have a colourway name because it was a one-of-a-kind colourway. But it's this gorgeous sort of like midnight blue. As you can see, I did do all of the cable crosses on the sleeves and on the body of the sweater as well. And then the other colourway that I used was Fondant Fibre yarns. And that was in the Jasmine Scented Evening colourway. And that was on her MCN base. I can't remember what the name of the base was, but I really, really love it. Yeah, I think it might be my favourite sweater. It's just so cosy because it's not really tight fitting. I wanted it to have a bit of ease, a bit of positive ease. And it's just made it really cosy, something I can just throw on with jeans and automatically be all snuggly. So yeah, that's what I'm wearing this week. On to what I'm wearing. No, I've just done what I'm wearing. Oh, I need some coffee. Yeah, I'm not going to talk too much about the Zweig, because I have talked about it quite a lot recently. So I think I've only had one episode where I've not talked about it in the last, or since I started making it anyway. So yeah, you already know pretty much everything there is to know about it. So, excuse me. It's like really early in the morning here. So I've not even had my first coffee of the day. This is my first coffee. So my throat might be a little bit croaky, but I wanted to get quite a lot of stuff done today. So I thought if I podcast first thing, I can get some stuff done whilst it's uploading and just all of the stuff that goes along with editing that takes a lot longer than I realised when I started podcasting. But I'm really enjoying it, so sorry, bit of a tangent. I'm going to show you my one and only FO for this week, which is a design of mine, which is now in testing. So hopefully won't be too long until it's available to be released. And then, so without further ado, these are the cottage garden socks. And they're finished! I have like a full pair of socks. And it didn't take me, oh, maybe it did take me as long as it normally does. But I felt like it didn't take that long. I found the pattern that I've done quite addictive. So you, oh, can you really, I don't know if it's getting blown out a little bit. But you have a sort of little lace pattern on one side of the front of the sock that goes all the way up. And then there's also a lace pattern, I'll show you a bit more, on the back of the sock, which looks like little leaves. And so I just thought they should be, this colourway just felt like, it just reminded me of like pretty flowers in like cottage garden flowers. Just the, have a little look. It's mostly this gorgeous green with little specks of this, it's sort of like a bluey purple, and then pinks and browns, and it just reminded me of a really pretty garden. So that in combination with the lace patterns I've chosen for this just made sense for them to be called the cottage garden socks. So the yarn that I've used is actually a sock blank for the main colour, and it's Sweet Sparrow yarns in Fairy Ring colourway, and this has now been blocked after I finished them, but I haven't woven in the ends. So I'll try and keep things still a little bit more so you can have a look. I know sometimes I might move things about too quickly, so just try and hold it there for you. Oh, and the contrast colour for the toes and the heel, that is Eden Cottage yarns on their Hayton 4-ply base, which is, I think it's in MCN, might be an MCN, I think it is, and the colourway is Red Kite. So I just fancied doing some contrast heels and toes for this pair. I've not done that before on any of my designs, so I really enjoyed it. I still wanted to keep the heel flap and gusset though, because I find that's just the best fitting heel for my foot. And I know a lot of people do prefer that for the fit. So it was my first time doing a heel flap and gusset in a contrast colour, so that was, I had to sort of adapt my usual sock pattern, heel pattern for that, just to accommodate how you do that without ending up with the wrong colour up here and all that stuff. So yeah, that's my right sock, and then here's my left sock. So yeah, as you can see, I'll show you both same side. You've only got the pattern on the outside of your foot, and leg, if that makes sense. So just at one side. But the pattern on the back just goes across the whole of the back of the sock. So yeah, I'm really pleased with these actually. I haven't worn them yet because I'm trying to keep them nice to take some proper photos of the design. But they are so soft that I'm really tempted to just put them on. Especially because it's got so cold here. I think we had one day of sunshine yesterday and it was so warm just in the sun, even though I don't think the temperature was that high, but just the sun and blue sky just made it seem like, oh, we might be nearly into summer. So, but then today that's just completely turned on its head. Because it is just the darkest I've seen it in so long. Since I woke up, it's just not stopped raining heavily. But yeah, sorry, British, so I only ever talk about the weather. We don't stop talking about the weather at all. But if you live here, you can sort of understand why, because it's just always changing. You never know what it's going to do when you wake up. But yeah, so these are now currently in testing. My testers are making really good progress on them, so I'm hoping it might only be a few weeks until I can release the pattern. But I will let you all know on the next episode, and I'll also announce it on Instagram. So Instagram will probably be the best way to find out when I'm releasing it, and any information like that. And I'll probably also do a discount code as well when it's released, for like the first week or so, just because I really appreciate anyone who gives my patterns a go when they're first released. So I feel like it's nice to have a bit of a discount for people who are giving it a go. So yeah, cottage garden socks will be released soon. Watch this space. Oh, right. So I have got a couple of whips to show you. It's 3 in total. So I'm just going to have some coffee because my throat is feeling a little bit froggy, let's say. John is asleep in his bed today. I think I tired him out yesterday at the park. He met with some other dogs that we sometimes see. And whenever we see them, he just gets so exhausted from playing. It's so funny. So I think today he's sort of crashed out. Sorry, I will get on with the knitting content now instead of a podcast just about me talking about my dog and drinking coffee. Right, so first whip I'm going to show you is living in my homespun house bag with all the llamas. I'm becoming a little bit obsessed with llamas. But I just think they look so funny and cute. Look at them. Oh, they've got little hats. Like this one, it's got a little bowler hat. Llamas in hats. I think that's a little like internet TV show, Llamas in Hats. Maybe from the early 2000s. If anyone knows what I'm talking about, please comment and let me know so that I know I'm not going mad. Otherwise, just ignore me and will accept that I have gone mad. Okay, so living in here is my... Oh, why is it not focusing? Thank you. Is my portage cardigan. So let me just get it all out so I'm not... Oh, I'll just have that there. I find that the cardigans are always a little bit difficult to show. Needles are making a lot of noise. But those of you who saw the last episode will notice I now have sleeves. Look at that. I mean, I haven't made that much progress on it in, it's probably about a week and a half since our last podcast. Oh, no, a week and 2 days. But I have sleeves. I think the last time I podcast, I'll show you the back so you can see where the marker is. The last time I podcast, I was here. So I've done maybe 2 inches, I think. Yeah, 2 inches. And then I got this new Progress Keeper on it, which was a present from my lovely friend Wendy of Moonflower Yarns. Yeah, just a really cute gift. So thank you, Wendy. Oh gosh. And I love that it jingles. I love Progress Keepers with little jingly bells on, because it's just, whenever you're knitting, you can just hear it jingling. It's just really, really fun sound. Oh, I'm very easily amused. Does anyone else really, really like those Progress Keepers that have got the little bells on? Has anyone else got a bit of an obsession with those too? Please let me know I'm not alone. Right, so I'll try and give you a little bit of a close-up of the, just any new viewers. Bit of a close-up of the texture. And then, so I actually forgot to tell you what yarn this was this week. This is Primrose Yarn Co. in the Jasper DK base, and the colourway is Bramble. So I did actually see that someone else had, I think a couple of other people have made portage cardigans out of this particular yarn, this colourway, and I just fell in love with their pictures of them on Instagram, so I had to completely copy. On this one, I've completely shamelessly copied someone else's pattern and yarn combination, but I just love it. I love the way it's working up. I think I did mention last time I am alternating skeins on this one, so this is my first time alternating skeins, which is pretty exciting. But yeah, there's not a whole lot more that I can say about this because I haven't made that much progress. Because I think I had one more row to do last time, and then I split for the sleeves, and then I've done this since. But one thing that I didn't realise about the pattern is that it has these little cables on the side. I don't know if you can see. So that's like just under the underarm, or just in front of your underarm. I didn't realise the pattern had these little cables, so that was like a really, really fun surprise when I started knitting it. And it was like, oh, do these cables? And I was like, oh, okay, I'll do that. So yeah, I'm just in love with this. It's so squishy, and I need to just crack on with it so that then I can wear it. But it is a little bit of a more time-consuming knit. So I think, I'm not sure how far the body has to go, but I'm pretty sure it's a pretty long cardigan. So I'm guessing I've got to do at least this much, at least this much more of the honeycomb. I'm not too sure. But I'm really enjoying the process of it as well. It's just, I really love having a big DK project to work on. Because it's just so cozy, and just the feel of the yarn when you're working with it is just so squishy and a bit thicker. When you do a lot of fingering weight projects, I find it's nice to have something a bit chunkier to work on as well. So yeah, that's my portage. It's still going along, but it is going to take me a while, I think, so you're probably going to see that for quite a few more episodes to come. Right, yes, so on to my next project. And this is living in my lovely emerald, what can I not say it? Lovely emerald fibres bag, which has got this gorgeous narwhal on it. Lovely drawstring. I think I show this on every single episode, but I only have about 4 project bags. So, I mean, they're always going to have to live in the same ones, aren't they? So I don't really like to buy more bags than I need, because I think then it would only encourage me to have more whips on the go. And I'm trying not to do that. I've been pretty good with the number of whips that I've got on the go. I think I've only got the 3. I've not got any languishing whips, apart from the one shawl design that I showed you last week, or last episode, which I will be going back to once I've finished this shawl design, which I'm about to show you. Anyway, I keep going off on tangents today. I think my brain's a bit all over the place, so sorry about that. Anyway, yes, living in my narwhal bag, which actually now has a new pin on it since last week. I think last week last episode I mentioned that I only have this one pin, which is a Moonstone Dye Works badge that I got from lovely Tommy of Squirrel Pie Productions, and Lydia, who is Purple Moose on, I think her moose, I think her name is the same on Instagram and Ravelry, but she sent me this gorgeous little llama pin, which she thought I would love because it's a llama and because I've only got one pin. So now I have 2. Thank you, Lydia. It was really, really kind of you to send me that. So I absolutely love him. I've not given him a name. Should I name him? I feel like he should be called Sydney. Sydney the llama. But yeah, he's so cute. So really, really appreciated that. Thank you. Right, so I will show you my current shawl design. I did show this last episode, and I have made a little bit of progress on it, but obviously it's a crescent shawl that I'm doing, so as I get further and further into it, the row's getting longer and longer by quite a lot, so it might not look like as much progress, but I have completed another little section of it. Oh, I'm just getting tangled. I'll just show you the yarns first. The yarns I'm using are, oops. Here they are. So I'm not sure if it's getting blown out a little bit. Oh no, it's okay actually. It's pretty accurate colour-wise. So this one is Hedgehog Fibres in the Typewriter colourway, which I'm absolutely in love with, and I feel like I want to use it in combination with everything. Absolutely in love with it. I want to use it in combination with every colourway in my stash at the moment, because it just knits up, as you'll see in a second, with just these gorgeous black speckles, and yeah, it's just so versatile. I think the colours will go with pretty much anything. And then in combination, I've got this skein of Labian Amé in the Life Aquatic colourway. And I just love the neon of this. It just reminds me of summer, which is quite nice when it's rainy like this, to be reminded it should be getting warmer. So hopefully it will soon. Anyway, those two together. And now I will show you the shawl so far. Should I show you the correct side as well? Not the back. Oops. Oh, hang on, I'm tangled on the stitch markers. There we go. And get it to the ends of the needles so you can sort of see as much as possible. So this is what I've done so far. You can see. So I think this little progress keeper shows where I was up to last episode. This is my new progress keeper from Frosted Betty's. Oh no, Sugar Tots. Sugar Tots is the name of the Etsy shop, and I think she is known as Frosted Betty's on Instagram. And it's just a little sleepy tea bag. She's so cute. But yeah, so I'm really enjoying this pattern, my design, this design so far. So I've just got it's pretty much mostly garter, and then a couple of eyelet rows, and then we've got a little bit of a lace pattern happening in the contrast colour so far. So I'm really enjoying it just because I'm really feeling the mindlessness of garter and sort of more vanilla knitting at the moment. I think just I feel like I haven't got the brain space for anything like too much more complicated. So I'm just finding this really relaxing to knit on. Oops. Try and hold it still for you. Look at it. I just love that pop of neon. So yeah, I think I'm not quite halfway on this design yet. So this one will be a little while before it's ready for testing. So, but I'm just really enjoying it. So I hope you don't mind me showing designs that are in progress, and that they won't be available for a while. Let me know if that's a bit of an issue for anyone, because I know some people like to be able to, they see things on podcasts and they like to be able to go and knit them sort of straight away, but I don't know if I'd have much to talk about if I didn't show you them. So if I fold it in half, you can sort of see. It's just so squishy. I think I forgot to say both of the yarns I'm using are single ply, fingering weight. So I can't remember what the bases are called for each dyer, but they are single ply. I'm really enjoying working with them at the moment. So yeah, lovely summery shawl for a really grey, rainy day. That's just what I'm calling it at the moment, my summery shawl, just because the colours remind me of like a swimming pool in summer, and like the light reflecting in the water, and I don't know if anyone else can sort of see that in the yarn or not. But that's what it reminds me of anyway, so. Right, there is one more whip, and this is going to be a new one. Because, as you all know, when you finish a pair of socks, you then have to cast on another pair. I feel like I can never not have socks on the needles. It's really weird. I think I just really, really like the quick progress. You feel like you're making quick progress because the rounds are really small. So it's nicer to be able to see that you are making progress in a relatively short amount of time compared to like a garment. Yeah, so I'm just going to have a bit more coffee and I will show you that in a second. So this new this new project is living in my thimble and thread project bag. I'm not sure if I've shown this on the podcast before or not. I feel like I must have done, but not for a while. So I love this bag. I think I got it last year. And it's just got these gorgeous boxes and tiny little toadstools and leaves. I just love this fabric. It's so cute. And then the top fabric sort of ties in with the little toadstools. Box. Oh, they're just so cute. So yeah, that's my bag from Thimble and Thread. Oh, please focus. Thank you. Right, so this project I'm really, really excited about. I only started it yesterday, and if you follow me on Instagram, you'll know what it is, because I posted about it on there. I think in my Instagram stories and on my actual page. So, let me untangle this. So, as I said, I'm sort of just really in the mood for vanilla knitting at the moment, and just something where I can just knit all the way around, because I've just finished a sock design which took up quite a bit of brain space, and I'm still working on a shawl design, although that one is a bit easier to work on at the moment because I'm doing a lot of just garter at the moment. So I decided to cast on a pair of just plain old vanilla socks. And I went rooting around in my stash, and I've been thinking about casting on this ball of self-striping yarn for a while. And this is Jinx Yarns, and it's in a colourway called C137, which is a reference out of a sort of a cartoon TV show that me and Jimmy watch called Rick and Morty. Just wanted to say it's not safe for kids to watch, not suitable for children. Just putting that out there so I don't forget to say it. But yeah, it's sort of to do with aliens and extraterrestrials, and just weird and wonderful stuff like that. So it is a comedy as well, but yeah, I just love this like insane green colour with all of these. I love it. So yeah, I have started the first sock. I'm not knitting them two at a time because I just don't do that. I did try it once and I just didn't find it as relaxing, and I want vanilla socks to just be my ultimate relaxing knit. They're just my project that I can pick up, take with me on the go, just have in my bag and just easily like pick out and knit a few rows and then easily put it down again. And I find if I'm doing two at a time, because you've got the two balls of yarn and you've got to do the yarn management, I just find it gets a bit more stressful than it needs to be for me. So some people manage it fine, but I just want to keep it simple. And I like doing one, and then if it's a sock that I'm really enjoying, I like thinking, oh, I can do that all over again. So here is what I've done so far. Oh. So I'm knitting it toe up because I wanted to make sure I had a big chunk of green at the start, at the end of the toe. So I thought it was easier to manage that if I do it that way. And I hate doing the ribbing, so I sort of wanted to put off doing that. So I think I've done at least one full repeat of the colours now. So yeah, I have. So it's this crazy, like, slightly variegated green, and then you go into this gorgeous brown and yellow, then back to a big chunk of the green, and then this little light blue and white. I think this is just an undyed white here, and then back to the big section of green. So I really like that it's got like this big section of one colour, and then all the other colours are like smaller stripes. I'm finding that really fun. So yeah, and then of course I've got my little progress keeper from Jiggles and Beans, which I got last year, and it's a glow in the dark progress keeper, but obviously it's not quite dark enough for that at the moment. Maybe if I just, you might be able to see if I just, you can sort of see the little glow in the dark vampire ice lolly. I just thought, because it's sort of like a bit of a sci-fi creepy themed yarn, I thought this would go perfectly on it. Yes. What else was I going to say? So yeah, I'm going to do a true afterthought heel. So I'm literally now just going to knit all the way up without putting a heel in. I'll probably do that with both socks, and then come back and decide what colour to put for the heel. I wasn't sure whether to do a black heel, or whether to do a brown, to pick out the brown in this, or a grey. I'm not really sure. I wanted to do the self-striping for the toe and the cuff, just because I want to use as much of it as possible. I sort of feel like I don't like to not use as much of it as possible. Oh, that makes no sense, that sentence. I want to try and use as much of it as possible, just because I really love the striping sequence, and it's a bit more difficult to add into your crochet blanket. I don't really like to have too much left over from the self-striping ones. So yeah, but I'm really enjoying it. I only started this yesterday, so I think I've done a fairly good amount for one day. So yeah, I should tell you what needles and stitch count I'm doing. I'm using 2mm needles, which I think is a US 0. But I've now started using that for some of my socks, especially if they're sort of just vanilla, or like it depends on the yarn as well. If it's a quite plump yarn like this one is, then I use a smaller needle just to keep the gauge a bit tighter, and otherwise it'll end up being a bit too big. So 2mm needles, and I'm doing 64 stitches around. So I think I started off with 12 on each needle I did the Judy's Magic cast on. Is that a thing? Yeah, I think it's Judy's Magic cast on or something. Which is what I always use for starting a toe-up sock. So yeah, just really fun pair of vanilla socks. I didn't show you the label for Jinx Yarns. Here's the label, Jinx Yarns, and it is, let me just read out what base it's on. It's Power Sock Self-Striping in the colourway C137, and it's a 75% superwash BFL and 25% nylon. So yeah, I'm really loving the BFL. It feels a little bit more woolly and squishy, but without losing its softness. I'm really loving it, and hopefully it'll be quite hard wearing with having that in as well. See, there's the information. So yeah, that's my last whip to show you this week. I'm absolutely loving it, and I feel like I'm flying along with it because I'm not having to think. It's literally just go round and round and round knitting, and I'm finding the striping sequence really addictive. It is, as people say, you just want to get to the next stripe and then the next stripe. You're like, oh, I'll just do a couple more rows. And then that's how you end up losing half of your day. So, oh, there was one more thing I wanted to show you, which was some cute little stitch markers, which Lydia, who I mentioned before, also sent me. So I'm just going to go and grab those. Right, so she also sent me 3 cute little fruit themed stitch markers. So if I try and hold them with one hand, and I'll do that thing to block out the camera trying to focus on me. Can you see? So we've got a cute little apple on the end. Then we've got, I think it's a lemon, and a little strawberry. So they are so cute. I absolutely love them. So thank you, Lydia. That's really, really kind of you. You didn't have to send me these. But yeah, I can't wait to put them on a project. So I'll have to cast on something new. And I believe they were from an Etsy shop called Amelia X Joy. And Lydia also sent me her card, so there's the details. And I'll put the links to everything I've talked about as well in the down bar, just so it's easier to find. So yeah, that was, I've not got any other acquisitions. I've not bought anything. I've been really good and I'm really pleased. There are so many things I wanted to buy that I see on Instagram, but I've been trying to just think, am I going to use it straight away? Do I need this right now? And the answer has always been no. So I've been really good. So yeah, just quick update on my yarn diet. So the only other thing I wanted to talk about was there are a couple of books or audiobooks that I've been reading and or listening to. The first one I've been getting into is something which was on my Audible sort of like favourites list or wish list for a little while. And then I think there was a podcaster, definitely a podcaster, who mentioned the book. I think it might have been Amy from Stranded Dye Works, but I'm not 100%. I could have just made that up. I think she then recommended it, and I was like, oh, I've got that in my wish list. Maybe I should give it a go. And it's The Power by Naomi Alderman, and I'm really, really enjoying that. It's been a while since I found a audiobook that I really got into. Because sometimes I find the voices of the narrators sort of a bit off-putting. It has to be it's like they've got to have the exact right voice for me to be able to listen to them for that long. Which is really strange, but I've really, really been enjoying that one. It's sort of about basically all of the women or all of the young girls in the world start exhibiting this superpower or supernatural power where it's like they can electrocute people through that, like by touching them, which is really strange, but it's really, really good. I've really got into it. So that's the first book I'm really into. The second one is a physical book, not an audiobook. And it's one which I bought at the end of last year, and I didn't get around to reading yet. And it's an Agatha Christie book. And the one I'm reading is And Then There Were None. and I'm not too far into it at the moment, about that far. But I'm really, really enjoying it. I don't know whether it was one of her earlier ones or not, but it's not a Poirot one, and it's not a Miss Marple one. I think it's just it's part of her mysteries collection, I think. So, yeah. But I've sort of got into Agatha Christie because I watched the film, oh God, what was it? The film that was out last year on the train, Murder on the Orient Express. I saw that at the cinema and absolutely loved it, and decided I now need to read some of Agatha Christie's books. So this was the one that I've gone with to start with, and I'm really, really enjoying it. So I can't wait to see how the story plays out. So yeah, I'll keep you updated on whether I carry on enjoying it. I sort of like to do a bit of a section on something not knitting related every couple of episodes. But this episode's getting pretty long now, so I need to wrap this up. Otherwise I'm not going to have time to edit it. So yeah, I hope you all have a really lovely week or so. I think it might be about maybe a week and a half, 2 weeks till I can then podcast again. So I hope you all enjoy whatever weather you're getting, because that's all I really like to talk about. I hope you do get some sunshine. I hope we get some sunshine too. So I hope we get some lovely weather too, because my parents are coming to visit this weekend and we are going to a jazz festival, which is held in the town where I live, Cheltenham, every year. So it would be really nice if we could just sit in the gardens in town, listen to some jazz, maybe drink some Pimm's. That might be nice. So yeah, really, really like it to be sunny for this weekend. Please. Anyway, hope you all have a really lovely knitty week also until I talk to you again. And yeah,